My only regret in life is that I did not drink more champagne. John Maynard Keynes, economist and philosopher. Bonjour, my name is David DeVere. I'm a wine educator and traveler, and you're watching Savvy Nomad TV. This is the O to V edition. This is day 23 of the Costco Around the World in 24 Wines box. Let's see what the wine is today. Here's 23, but the wine's back here. And we have a red blend from France. Red blend and France doesn't really give us a lot to go on. So when we look at the ad copy at the back, it says, what does it say? I can't read it. I did read it, but I can't remember. It says, warm climate, abundant sunshine, southern France. All right. What kind of hint does that give us? Well, there are three main wine producing areas in the south of France. They are Bordeaux, the Languedoc-Roussillon region, and the southern Rhone, which includes this province of Provence. So, what do we probably have? Well, given that the box has given us some Languedoc wines already, it's probably a Languedoc blend, but we really don't know. And they do make blends in the Languedoc. Is it a GSM? That should be easily figured out by the characters. We have our Grenache to go back on. Is it a Bordeaux blend? It may be, but there are some key characteristics about Bordeaux and geography about Bordeaux that we need to think about before we could say whether it's a Bordeaux blend. So here's how it works in Bordeaux. You have two rivers that enter one estuary, and it's kind of in a north-south stack. From the south, you have the Garonne River. To the north of that, you have the Dordogne River, and they come together and they meet at a place called the Entre deux Mers, the entrance of two seas, and that place forms the Gironde estuary. I'll write all the words and I'll show you a map here. Now, confusingly, the French don't say this is the south wines and the north wines, which would make a little more sense. They say this is left bank and right bank, and they do the same thing in Paris. They have a left bank and right bank. But really, the left bank in Paris is to the south and the right bank is to the north. So what the heck? Why are they doing this? Well, they're doing it because if you're a ship's captain and you're heading out to sea, you're going down river with the current, you're going out to the ocean, then left bank is on the left and right bank is on the right. And that is how they name things, based upon which way the boats are heading. Now, if you're heading upstream, obviously it's reversed, but downstream is the way it works. And in Bordeaux, left bank wines are Cabernet Sauvignon blended with Merlot and a bunch of others. Right bank wines are Merlot blended with Cabernet Sauvignon and some others. Will we be able to tell what the grape varieties are here? Probably not, but we can make some good guesses and we can try to guess what the combination is in the blend. Wow, this is kind of an advanced class. Let's see if we can actually do it. I have no idea if this is going to work. Let's pop open our red blend and make a few assumptions. First, to the tasting card, here is my Brass Rabbit label. That's come off nicely. And also my Velvet Rider label came off nicely too. So far, out of 22 wines now so far out of the box, I've only had one label I couldn't get off and one label that I got off 70, 85%. So most of the labels are coming off the bottles and I can put them in my notebook, which scrapbooking, journaling, notebooking, wine tasting, they all go together in my mind. Okay, boating and rivers in France, obviously the French had a historic commerce on waterways and in canals, moving their wines around. And that's why we have a canal boat because the French have more canals than any other country in Europe. Over 6,000 kilometers of navigable waterways. If you want to see what canal boating is like, you can watch other videos that I have made on this channel. And, oh, that was tight. If you want to join Sarah and I on a canal boat trip, you can find that information on our Savvy Nomad webpage. Okay, so put the cork there. Let's see. Can we divine the grape varieties? And really, we've been spending 22 days practicing this. So let's put our knowledge into practice. Here we go. First thing you want to do to try to figure out what the grape is to look at it. And you want to look at the edge. You want to hold it up and look at the edge. So look down through the wine and look at that edge of the color. It is what color? It is red. That boring red. But really, that is indicative of a few things. So Cabernet Sauvignon are going to be higher acid wines, and they're going to be more red in color. Merlots are going to be a little lower acid wines, more purple in color. So do we have a Cabernet Sauvignon blend here? Potentially, just based on color, we could guess that. All right. It's not 75% or more in the bottle. Otherwise, they would have said Cabernet Sauvignon on there. So it's less than that. Is it one of the more obscure varieties? Probably not. Just because they're more obscure, and if you're going to make a wine that's 100% more obscure varieties, then you'd put that on the bottle too. And is it a GSM blend? Probably not either. Those are going to be darker in color too. Okay, so right now I'm guessing Cabernet Sauvignon. Let's see if we smell something that gives it away. Berries and orchard fruit. A little bit of vanilla. It could be a little bit of oak interest. A little bit of dark chocolate. Okay, let's work our way around the chart. And then we'll talk a little bit of theory. Citrus. Nope. Berries. Yes. Orchard fruit. Yes. Tropical fruit. No. Flowers or honey? Not really. It smells a little sweet though, honestly. Vegetable and herb. And notice there's a green pepper there. Do you get green pepper? I don't. If we had green pepper, it would give away Cabernet Sauvignon every single time, as that's an aroma that is particular to Cabernet Sauvignon. It's just green pepper, kind of that bitter vegetable smell. But this is a red blend, so we're trying to guess multiple ones, but I don't get green pepper. I get some roasted notes, some earthy notes, and no faults. Okay, so far I'm leaning toward Cabernet Sauvignon, but it could be something that is not that. I don't know. I mean, we're just guessing here. Okay, let's give it a taste. It's dry. That sweetness I smelled was not in the taste. The acidity is medium high. The tannin is medium. It's not super grippy on my teeth. The alcohol, not overly present, doesn't burn. Come back to preference in a minute. The body, medium low body, so I'm going to go noticeable on that. The balance is okay. The complexity, this is additional aromas that you notice in your mouth after you swallowed it. Not overly complex. There's something, but I don't know what. And the finish, honestly, the wine's a little watery in my mouth. The finish isn't particularly long. It's not particularly tannic. So I will give it a slight finish. Okay, now to my scores. 3 points for appearance. Looks nice. Bouquet, I will give 4. Because I did smell something. Red wines are harder to get any aromas out of. They're just more subtle than whites. But I did smell something. Taste, I'll give it a 3. It's totally average in the taste category for me. Finish, I'll give it 1 point. And impression, 1 point. Going back to preference, slight. Okay, I'm going to do my math and then I'll tell you what grape variety I think it is. Okay, before I get to my final scores, let's talk about grape varieties just for a second. If this was a single varietal, I would guess Cabernet Franc. Now that's grown in the Loire generally, but it can be grown and is grown in and around Bordeaux as a blender. Do I think this is a Cabernet Franc Bordeaux blend? Nope. It's lacking that oak characteristic that Bordeaux is famous for. So that pushes us over to the Languedoc and to the Southern Rhone, where they finish things in stainless steel or concrete. There is a dusty character to this wine, a bit of earthy, a bit of black fruit and plumminess to it. So it could be a Syrah blended with Cabernet Franc, Syrah, Merlot, Cabernet Franc blend. That's interesting. It's not overly grippy, so it's not a high tannic wine, and Syrah would certainly fit into that. So would Grenache, and so would Mourvedre. So we probably have a Southern Rhone Languedoc blend, possibly Syrah, possibly Cabernet Franc, possibly Grenache or Mourvedre blended in. I'm not exactly sure. And we'll never know unless the importer tells us, which they haven't. And so it's our best guess. Now, I gave the wine 12 points. That is 1 point inside of good. I think it's well made because if you look here at the flavor profile, looks like a little guy doing jumping jacks. That flavor profile is expressive and it's just a little bit tight. If it was more open and more out to the outsides, I think we'd probably have a high score wine. All right, that's all I've got for you today. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up here. If you're new, subscribe. I've got the last video coming up tomorrow, day 24. Until then, I say à tout à l'heure and cheers.
Hi. Okay, red blend. Looks red, pretty deep. It has a lot of aroma. Berries. Maybe vanilla underneath, so probably oak influence. I'd like to keep sniffing. It makes me want to keep sniffing, so it has a lot of good smells. Not as sweet as it smells. Tannins are noticeable. I can't really tell if the finish is long. I guess it's still lasting, but I wouldn't say it's complimentary. It's maybe a little bit metallic. But I think it's okay. Enjoy. Cheers.